What's going on, Buffs Nation? Hope you're having a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to be coming out with a couple videos today, but make sure you hit that like and want to remind you about my interview tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain with the great Colin from Life in Football. So I'll have that link in the description for you to check out. Hit that notification button to remind you. Well, let's get into it. This video, we're going to give an update on one of my favorite JUCO prospects. We're leading that hype train together here at David Talks Buffs, and that is for tight end, potential offensive tackle, Connor Gilbreath. That's right, we did a breakdown of him about a week ago. Some of the most exciting tight end film that I've ever seen. Just a mauler, just physically dominant, intense. Everything that Tim Brewster and Bill O'Boyle and this staff wants in the blocking game at that tight end position, he brings. But since then, he's gotten a little bit more notoriety and publicity, particularly from some great SEC schools. We have Missouri, we have Mississippi State, and most notably, LSU. And he also did an interview with On3. I wasn't able to read a lot of it because of the paywall, but he did mention how if he were to transition to offensive tackle at LSU or in college, that would give him the opportunity to do what he loves more, which is block and physically dominate people. Now, I do think that CU does have some unique advantages over some of these other programs that have offered him, and I wanted to get into that right now and wondering what your thoughts are on this. Number one, whether he's playing tight end or offensive tackle, there is no program that's going to have more eyeballs on them this year than the Colorado Buffaloes. And if he's on the field, if he's showing out, he's going to get notoriety. Every NFL scout is going to be seeing what he's doing on the field, physically dominating people. That's the first point. Second point, CU gives him the opportunity to compete at multiple positions if that's what he wants to do. Again, I think we can pencil in or kind of assume that Savion Washington's going to be one of the starting tackles for CU. But outside of that, I feel like that other tackle position is going to be up for grabs. Connor Gilbreath, he might be a little bit more undersized right now for an offensive tackle position. But, hey, maybe he starts at tight end this year and can transition to offensive tackle later on if he wants to do that. But again, there's opportunity for him to start at different positions here, and he might be used in some different ways here. Again, Sean Lewis loves to use that tight end as that extra offensive lineman, but I could see him kind of being used as H-back a little bit. And my third point, if he does want to work on his receiving game a little bit, we know he's got the work ethic, the drive, the tenacity to be a really scary receiver out there with the ball in his hands. Can you imagine him in open space with his physicality going against those little DBs that he's already driving, 15 yards downfield in a block for? He could be dominant. And Tim Brewster has coached up some handful of different types of tight ends. Again, you're looking at Antonio Gates or Kyle Pitts, just to name a couple off the top of my head. He's used to working with guys that need to round out their game. And I think Connor Gilbreath, he would be a little bit different of a project compared to those guys. But again, with his blocking being elite, if we can just get his receiving chops up a little bit, as probably the biggest tight end in the Pac-12 coming in at 6'6", 270, he could make some serious noise. And again, CU has a history of guys coming in at that tight end position and then making that transition to offensive tackle. Most notably, Matt Lepsis. He was an all-conference tight end here in the Big 8 in the 90s, and then in the NFL transitioned fully to offensive tackle with the Denver Broncos, won 2 Super Bowls, had an all-pro year, and in my opinion, he should be in the Ring of Fame as one of the best offensive linemen in Broncos history. But overall, I would love to see Pancakes Connor Gilbreath here. I would love to see him at tight end as that extra offensive lineman this year, and then we can kind of see what happens moving forward with him. But we need another guy on that line that's going to just physically dominate, open up holes, be that lead blocker for some of these run plays. And can you beat the combination of all the attention that's going to be on this program this year? Having a fantastic position coach with Tim Brewster and also Bill O'Boyle at the offensive line. Being able to pursue your football career in the mountains in Boulder, Colorado, one of the most beautiful places in the country to live in. Again, you got NFL scouts, an NFL team a half hour away that you know is going to be present checking out these games and practices from here on out in Boulder, Colorado. So I want to know your thoughts. What do you want and what do you expect from Connor Gilbreath? What advantages does CU provide if you were to choose to come here to Boulder? Again, a lot of offers now, including those SEC schools along with Miami and Oregon as well. I want to know your thoughts. Where do you see him long term? Let me know in the comments. Again, appreciate your time. Can't wait for this interview tonight with Life in Football, and Sco Buffs.